Welcome to Real Flix Reviews. We're like a book club for people 8 reading. This month we're doing horror, so Rob picked the movie Witches of Eastwick. We bring you a new show segment, and this week we have Jonathan Charney, James Stevens.
The old guy's here.
So who has a description of this?
Since it was my pick, and I was appointed to read the little IMDb thing.
Yep, he was forced.
I don't know if it's all that good or not. 3 single women in a picturesque village have their wishes granted at a cost when a mysterious and flamboyant man arrives in their lives.
The first thing I've got to say is it's Jack fucking Nicholson.
Yeah.
You could pretty much have him read the dictionary and it would pretty much be the best movie out.
I liked it.
I like Jack Nicholson.
Yeah.
The movie, had gives and takes, but I like Jack Nicholson. I really do. Besides the fact the description really sucks.
Well,
I gotta say about like 3/4 of this
By the way,
film.
happy birthday, Jack.
I'm just thinking,
78 today.
Yeah,
Happy
you're an old
birthday.
guy. You're older than the old
I
guy.
bet you don't watch this anyway.
I know. Anyways, you mind?
You might?
I'd be shocked as hell. But
Okay.
anyways, the 3/4 of this movie have really no horror to it.
It's true.
It's really not, and you don't really get an inkling as to anybody's powers until the tennis scene. Really.
Well, they do kind
was
of
subtle.
suggest it.
Yeah, it was
Everything
subtle.
There was a lot of subtle stuff in the beginning.
Now, is this the first time you've seen this?
I know that I've seen the church scene a few times,
Okay.
but I think I've always come into the movie around that.
Oh, all right.
So I haven't seen all of it in the past.
So if you're gonna give this,
It's your first time.
maybe I don't
That's not-
remember.
No, I'm just
That's
wondering
not
because
uncommon.
I actually don't
when
remember.
when you watch it the second time, I think you catch more of the horror in the beginning than you do if you watch it the first time because you know kind of what's going on. And it's like you said, it's very subtle in the beginning.
Very subtle.
I don't disagree, but it's there.
I would say part of my problem, this being in 1987, I could have watched this a long time ago and just completely forgot because parts of it
Agreed.
are like, that looks so familiar. I get,
Well, I know for a fact I've seen the church scene multiple times.
Yeah.
But like I was telling Jen, is the all I've seen of that is what the TV version is, and it's edited, and there's things taken out.
Its TV version is
Yeah.
totally different.
So it was very interesting to see it, and I gotta say this was. I actually enjoyed Jack Nicholson's role in this one. He did a great job of being
Jack Nicholson.
Jack Nicholson. There's really no other
I
description
know.
for him, but that's really what he is.
Yeah, it was a real interesting character, and Jack is Jack, but yet he played this. I thought he played this character really well.
Oh, yeah,
I
agree. The guy was just cool, even that little funny ponytail he
Yeah,
had.
I was like, that's an interesting hairstyle.
Yeah, it was like really.
And I was wondering now if you are watching this for
Hi,
the
Mr.
audience
Paul.
members that are inquisitive, I want to know when your receding hairline started. Was it 14?
Yeah.
Because I mean,
think Jack's
everything
a
I've seen it
Very
in.
thin hair. He's
Well, I mean, just this section has
Yeah.
always been
I
not
kinda
there.
got that.
And I kind of got it too.
It's a
and I'm
trademark.
a young man, but as far as I've ever seen him, basically at every age that I've seen him acting,
doesn't he
he's
almost
had
look
it.
the same?
Yeah.
You know
Yeah.
what? I was looking at this movie, 1987, and I just looked at his picture now, and he's 78 years old. Like, it still looks the same. He looked 78 years old
I
in
know.
87.
Yeah, it's all that tennis.
All that tennis.
I was going to say, because this is definitely an 80s horror movie. 80s horror movies, you've got anything from Hellraiser to
Warlock.
Could have gone
Warlock
any
to
which
this.
way, yeah.
And this is this according to this, it's comedy fantasy horror, which I actually kind of agree with. This is also a John
Yeah.
Updike novel. So I would say this is definitely soft horror because of the comedy element, but it's not like Army of Darkness, which was comedy horror, but I say a little bit more towards the horror part.
Yeah, I'd also say what was that one that just came out recently? The Demon Bite guy. That was a comedy horror.
Oh, you talked about the one with Nick Cage?
Yeah.
Oh,
Ghost Rider.
Yeah.
yes.
Ghost Rider.
Thank you.
Yes,
For a
yes.
second there, I'm like,
I knew it
And
was
did
something
you
like
guys-
that, but that was a comedy horror to me.
I saw that movie too, and I kind of wonder why I saw it.
I've seen
For
all
a
of them.
joke. It's a Nick Cage
Nick
film.
It's
Nick
Nick
Cage.
Cage.
Nick
Yeah,
Cage
okay.
is
Yeah,
a joke.
that's as good an answer as
But
anyone
anyways,
could ever give. Right.
This one, I think this one had a lot more I would just kind of go with the whole thing of that it was a timepiece in the way that they had the comedy and the storytelling. This was kind of, it felt a little bit of the extended storytelling of introducing you to the characters and their past and how they relate with each other more so than what you generally get with a horror film. Most of the horror films, you're like, here's the guy, here's as much backstory as you get, because we want you to vote for this guy to die.
Yeah, but
This one wasn't really like that,
they also
except for
based
Jack
off-
Nicholson's character.
I would say with that though, like unlike this movie, the other movies are stereotypical. Like you really don't need to know that much just based on their language and the way they dress.
Yeah, they try to tell you whether or not you're going to like this person just off their personality and how they interact with all the sequences happening to them. This one, I got to say, I really enjoyed the change of Jack Nicholson's character.
Yeah.
And the way that he interacted with each of the women.
Which
I thought it was really
I
cool.
was going to say, by the way, that if you guys haven't seen this yet, it actually has a pretty amazing cast. I'm not a giant fan of them, but they did a really good job. That Cher, Susan Sarandon, Michelle Pfeiffer, close enough. And you had Lurch in this movie, too.
Yeah.
Which was really cool.
Lurch,
I can't even say his name.
Yeah,
his
we looked
last
him up a
name.
little while ago.
I'm horrible at pronouncing things, so hey, if you're
Anyway.
out there, we like you.
Call in and tell us how to pronounce your name.
Please.
No,
the last name, at least.
He's not alive anymore.
Well, it'd be a really cool thing to have him call in. Then.
Anybody got a
would be.
weed? Anybody
Now,
got
I
like
gotta
a movie
say, I
Ouija
was
board?
very impressed with Cher's waxwork. That was really well done.
Yes.
I don't know why you had to have a hard on it, but whatever. Whatever
Oh,
floats your boat.
you watched it in high definition. I didn't.
High definition in THX.
I think the version I got was NC-17 rating or something.
Maybe so.
I actually like Cher's acting, at least the
I
stuff
was
in
gonna
the
say,
she
you
did
like
in the
that
80s.
little wax doll?
I like Cher.
Her acting wasn't bad. Her as a person, a lot of things I'm not a fan of,
I totally
but her
agree,
acting was well done.
Yeah.
I like the character she played. I like the straightforwardness of it.
Yeah,
and I like
very
pretty
strong
much what
woman
she said
and-
back to Jack Nicholson.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Don't take this the wrong way, but
Yeah. No. And
You're
I love the
awful.
way they flipped it on him, too.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I do like the fact that it seems like some movies that have witches, all the witches have like vaguely similar characteristics, like even
They look like
personality-wise.
witches. Crooked
and,
nose.
I mean, but this movie, it doesn't. I mean, the only movie I can think of at the top of my head that's kind of similar as far as characteristic is is Craft, where each person has a very different standout characteristic.
You know, one thing that watching it this time, there was a couple little things were bugging me. One of the things that was really interesting is these women kept changing their glasses. One scene they'd not have glasses, next scene they'd have a pair of glasses, and the scene after that it'd be a different pair of glasses, and it's like the prop crew couldn't keep the glasses straight. So I thought that was pretty funny.
yeah,
I mean,
are you talking about the right before they
there's-
went and played tennis?
Yeah,
When
well,
she was
there's-
sitting there with the
yeah, there's numerous scenes where they've all were wearing glasses of some kind, and I'm not talking about sunglasses. I'm talking about like prescription lenses, like they were supposed to be. And then, I don't know how many people have multiple pairs of prescription glasses. I mean, they cost a lot of money, so you don't usually have more than one. So,
Industrial Light and Magic was hired in this for this movie.
well, so now I know how the tennis ball did.
Yeah, I was reading about it. They did it. Apparently, they did the whole scene because the Cher, Susan Sarandon, Michelle Pfeiffer, and Jack Nicholson apparently are so bad at tennis that they had to digitally do the whole scene.
Wow.
I can see that.
Which I was actually amazed because
when,
that
when
era
she
CGI.
was hitting it back when Michelle Pfeiffer had it right in front of her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was thinking that. I was just thinking to myself at that time. I was like, "That's got to be CG."
Well, that was the
But even
start.
still, it was kind of like I'm like, no, I don't think they really use CG.
It seemed like some of the when they're up close and personal, like those shots might have been real, but the other ones where it's hovering and all that.
Yeah, when
were
it was
probably-
bouncing back and forth.
You
that
got
one-
to see
that
the
was-
start
that
of
was
all the
fake.
witchcraft. That's when really got to start seeing. Wait a minute, it's not
Yeah,
only
yeah.
Jack that's got powers, but it's these women as well.
Yeah. Well, when the thing that kind of bothered me was they're sitting there arguing with each other right in front of that tree on the sidewalk, and the sidewalk cracks
Starts coming up?
Yeah. Why did they freak out and run like little scared girls? That was strange to me because I'm like, what? You guys have never seen like concrete split?
Well, Have you? I'm thinking part of it is because
Yeah.
they knew they had powers, but I don't
You
think
lived
they
in Southern
knew.
California?
Yeah, touche.
That's right.
I don't think they knew like the extent of their powers together, though. I mean, they kind of knew what they could do, but I don't think they knew the seriousness of it.
No, that's true. They didn't
Yeah.
for a while. They didn't know what they were able to do.
Okay,
And,
now
and that was the scene after that one lady died. The lady that was saying why
Oh,
he's
yeah,
such
yeah.
an evil man.
Oh yeah,
So I'm thinking
her
that they
husband
didn't know.
killed her though.
yeah. He went wacko.
No, I thought just because she died because of.
What, the cherries?
Yeah,
No, she
that was
started
the-
going freaky crazy, and then he went up to her with a
Poker, fire poker.
and then
I
they
must have
cut
missed that
away,
section.
and then they hear the screaming and the scuffle, and then they come back, and he's putting it back up, back.
Right.
And then
Yeah, you did miss
who
that
called
part.
the
I
ambulance
apparently-
on that one? Wouldn't you call the coroner office?
Well, I don't know. And it was
was
the
the
next
newspaper.
day too,
Yeah.
because it happened at night. So he obviously took a while before he called anybody.
He was
Yeah, I
cleaning
don't
up
know.
all the seeds.
Anyway, yeah, that was actually kind of funny. Like how many seeds came out, and I remember saying out loud, like, "Who eats the cherry seeds?"
It was like fire hydrant. Man.
Yeah.
That one had time up.
Which
Projectile
kind of
vomit.
goes towards my favorite end of the movies when they were doing all this stuff to Jack Nicholson.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
Like, when they started eating their cherries and he starts doing that, then spitting out. He clucked, didn't he, that scene?
Yeah.
It's like, it's a cheap trick. I showed him how to do it.
Now, okay. Now, when he turns into giant evil
Yeah.
monster Jack or
Industrial
whatever,
Mike-
And then he
and
shrinks.
then he
Industrial-
shrinks.
like-
Now, was that little baby?
That was all that was
Evil
left.
Jack?
That was all that was left of little Jack when the wax. There was only that little piece of wax left, and that was
Okay.
him. And then it finally melted away. And
Oh, that's right. Because they cracked it. They cracked his
They
doll.
broke
and
him
they-
Yeah, they
apart.
broke
threw it
him
in
in
the
three
fire.
spots,
Right, and they threw it in the fire.
and then
Right.
okay.
right.
They should
That
have
was
given
like,
it.
I was
They
trying
should
to
have given
figure
it to the
that out if that
dog.
was like he got warped to his other dimension thing or what. I was
A little bit.
kinda-
Well,
See,
until the end.
they don't even really, and apparently the book doesn't either. It doesn't really tell you what he is.
I was trying to figure out if he was the devil.
Well,
or
apparently
He-
they allude to it
kinda
They allude to it.
They
'Cause
allude
his-
that he's the devil.
because his name is Daryl Van Home, and apparently Daryl, this they say it's D, and it starts
Right.
with a D, ends with an L. Apparently it's very alluded, but apparently the book never says.
Well, and then there was that one scene where he pasted up the sheet of music in the big.
Yeah, I
bloody
saw that
Yeah.
with the D. Yeah.
Right. I think that also pointed to him being the devil.
Okay.
And there was, apparently him being so mad, everything was dying near him during that one scene when he was
Yeah,
going
yeah,
berserk.
yeah.
That's kind of
And
my
then he
thought.
was like, shoved that thing in his face, and I wasn't sure what that was. I think it was a fig, but I'm not sure.
I
all
thought
the
it was a
seeds
tomato.
inside of it?
Tomato.
No, it wasn't tomato. It was shaped
Yeah, I
differently.
know. I agree with you. It's some weird fruit.
Yeah,
that
it
he
was a
was
weird one that I
smushing.
wasn't sure what it was.
Yeah, must
Anyway.
have tasted all right. 'Cause I can't manage how many
I wonder
takes
how many
that took.
times they had to do that scene.
If he was allergic to that fruit, pops
they-
off. Boom.
The thing I'd really love to see is to be there, because apparently Jack Nicholson, I've heard it before, his acting style is like he'll do that thing straight up, and then he'll go, I have an idea. How about we plus it and adds? He just keeps adding things, and I guess the director
Well-
gets to, generally says, well, I like this,
I gotta say though, the scene where he was upstairs ironing his shirts, that was my all-time favorite scene.
So when
That
Cruz-
was just
I'm sitting there going, "What?"
masterfully done. That really was. When he throws it and then he does his goose stepping thing and turns around. That was just, I gotta say, that was really well done. That was a better. I think that scene was done better than the scene in The Shining when he's doing the typewriter and he starts chasing her with the bat. Give me the bat! Give me the bat! Give me the bat! That one I think is,
Right.
really well up there as to one of my favorite Jack Nicholson blow-ups. Although he did do quite a bit in anger management that were really great.
Oh yeah.
I would say to me the personality on him is very similar to as good as it gets, but I think towards evil, not asshole.
Okay.
Because I really love his character as good as it gets with Helen Hunt.
Yeah, that was a good one too.
So what's he going to do with his three little boys? There was never a sequel. I think there was.
No.
a
No, there
plan,
really
yeah,
wasn't.
Well,
yeah.
apparently,
I think
actually
Damien or something. No.
apparently there actually was a sequel or a book written, but it's never apparently been converted into a movie.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I do like the fact that he kind of somehow resurrected in TVs in the end, and
Well, again, back to the devil thing. I mean, you couldn't
Yeah.
have killed the devil just by melting an effigy of him. So I could see that coming. And I think what this points to too, one of the reasons I like this movie because it's fun. It's just fun to watch, and for horror. I mean, it's not one of these horror movies where blood's spurting everywhere and people's heads are cut open and brains are popping out. And I think that was my point. I wanted to show a little bit of difference, just a little bit of, we were coming into what horror really is like more today. And this was the beginning of it still. It was pretty tame.
Yeah.
But there was a little bit of it. And a lot of people that are very religious, back at that time this movie came out, wanted to ban it.
I'm not surprised.
Thank
you, Thatcher.
Yeah. It was just one of those things that, it's because of what it was, people can't take it as a movie or humorous or, and I think that's why they leaned this movie a little bit more to the humor than to the horror side of it. But it was, I remember at the time it came out, that people were protesting that, terrible movie.
I'm not surprised.
Anyway.
Well, it was still around the time that they were also saying that, video games, which were not anywhere near as violent as they are now,
not even close,
were the cause of a lot of everybody's woes too. It was a lot of finger pointing at that time. This is the problem. This is the problem.
Trying to blame everything on. I blame everything on education, anyways.
Yeah.
I just blame it on who's ever president at the moment. That makes it easier.
Anyways, but
I
agree with you. There was a lot of fun points in this film. I think for its time, it was more comedy than horror, which there was a ton of these coming out in the 80s.
Yeah. Well, because there was also Death Becomes Her. That was obviously horror, but they had humor on it.
That was another one I almost picked.
So I Married an Axe Murderer?
No, not so much.
And there was the aforementioned Army of Darkness, which I think was more on the horror end, but was also very funny moments.
But
yeah.
Anyways,
which I don't think they do anymore. All the horror nowadays, it seems like it has to be torture porn or try to be ridiculously scary.
Yeah, and they jump out, scare you. That's not scary. That's just making loud noises.
And it's like they try to make everything as dark as they can. I mean, the film's just dark.
Yeah, do I need night vision?
Yeah, if I'm going to be in, I can't watch it in my front room with the lights on because you can't see anything.
That's what they got to do. They got to make. There's got to be a spoof of a horror movie that has night vision mode, and you hit a button and everything goes green.
Yeah, or you hand out little things in the beginning that give you a little bit of night vision or something, and say, hey, enjoy.
That'd be pretty funny. So, what do you give this, James?
I think I give this one an even 3. Even though it's an odd number, you stupid people who thought I actually meant even.
Jeez.
Even though you said even?
Yeah.
Wow, Rob?
Rob's going to give it a 3.
All right,
yeah. I think that's where it sits. I mean, it's
in the middle
it was
ground.
fun. It's right in the middle ground. There was.
I can't say I didn't enjoy it. Yeah. There was parts that I enjoyed.
There you go.
Yeah, I kind of agree. It's a solid 3 out of 5. I actually think if this didn't have Jack Nicholson, I would have given it way lower.
Yeah,
because
I'm not
he
sure who would have played
this.
the character though. I mean, the casting of
Sonny?
his character. No, not even Sonny could have pulled that off.
No, but it would be funny that Jack Nicholson totally said, "I got you, babe." He totally should have dragged that out.
I'm sure Cher would have walked off.
She would have probably killed
And that
him.
would have been a bad
That would
thing.
have been it. Yeah, it would have been. I like Cher.
You would. You're old enough. Actually,
I remember Sonny and Cher very well.
A tad bit interesting. It was talking about how the director wasn't used to.
Is that an insult?
Was what?
Are you insulting me?
I think it was.
No.
I'm old enough?
No, not at all.
All of us get these notices.
You are the old guy. The most interesting thing about this is the fact that apparently the director, according to IMDb, wasn't used to American-style directing. And so something came along and he said he didn't need his trailer. So they started trying to hamper him at every time. When he asked for 50 extras, they gave him 12. They did this. And apparently they tried to even get rid of him until Jack Nicholson said, if you change directors, I walk. Which I thought was interesting, because apparently, according to what I read, this was like his first time directing in an American-style movie.
I could actually see some of that influence. There was, in the beginning scenes, there was some things that I was kind of thinking, this seems like, it was a Spanish film or something like that. Do you know where he's from?
Where?
The director.
I don't
That was a
remember.
question, not an answer.
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
actually
I
really
don't-
asking.
Where's he from? What's his name?
Some of my
Hold
Australia.
He's from
technolo-
Australia.
Oh,
Well,
okay.
then it wouldn't have been that different.
No, it wouldn't have been that. But it kind of reminded me a little bit of some of the Spanish films that I've seen from that era too.
Some of the sets did look like they were from the, Murder, She Wrote.
For some reason, I can't think of what the one that it reminds me of right off the top of my head. Anyways,
So, with that being said, we're going to go to
Have to look it
chapter
up.
6
Sick.
of House of Cards. And
okay.
I'll go if you want.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah.
This episode didn't do anything for me at all. Towards the end, I really liked the end of this
I
episode.
liked him getting punched in the face. That turned that whole.
Yeah.
That was perfect.
Well, that honestly, the first half of this just really bored me out of my mind, and later on, towards when they showed their, sorry for the bad pun, showed their cards a little bit more and what they were doing. That really started getting good when you got to see how dirty he really is on many.
I thought five. To me, 5 was boring. 6 was much better, and I thought the whole setup to antagonizing the union guy, and I mean he knew exactly what was going to happen.
I love
You
this
know,
line. at the
I
end,
gotta
though,
say
about-
this though. Okay. So we're gonna be getting up to the end of the season, and we're halfway through about
Right.
right now. How long before you think he actually is hands-on killing somebody?
End of the season.
Hands on. I have no idea.
I'm thinking either the end of this season or the middle of next season is what I really think. I think at some point he is gonna kill somebody,
Probably will.
other than a dog.
See, the only thing that
Dog killer.
I would
Kevin
think,
Spacey, you're a dog killer.
the only thing I disagree with you on that is that he's the kind of guy that gets other people to do his
Exactly,
dirty work.
but
Okay,
But
so
I think at some point he is going to have to actually do it himself. I really think that at some
all
point.
right, we'll see,
he'll do
huh?
it.
We'll see.
Because
It'll be James'
I've
prediction.
been saying, he's basically the Don, but I'm getting a sense that he will actually do it. I think. So.
I think if the stakes was high enough,
He would.
he might.
Yeah.
And the only thing I've noticed is as this show progresses, they do less Zach Morris moments, which I think is kind of a bummer because those are some of my favorite.
There was some actually good ones in this one. I think that.
there were a
very-
couple.
yeah.
The one with the president was the one I liked
Yeah.
when he said it's kind of hard to say no to the most powerful man in the
Man,
world.
yeah.
But
you know what I
have
didn't
to
like?
do it, and then they'll respect you, is what he said.
What I didn't like was the hospital scenes with his,
Yeah.
the guy
wife?
that
that was his wife
No,
in the
his wife
sex
is in.
part.
I didn't like any of the hospital scenes. I really thought.
The one.
See, I
the
think they
one
needed.
thing
I think they had
think-
to happen.
I
and I'll
think-
tell you why after James.
Okay.
I was going to kind of go along with John is the reason why they did that is because she pointed out why she chose him over everybody else. And that was a little bit backstory on her, I think, is why they did it.
I would also say it's because this is the first kind of glimpse that you get to see they're a match set. She's as brutal and will do whatever it takes for
True.
her causes as
True.
him.
And I think that part was good. But I just the guy in the hospital bed and
Yeah, that got old.
He was I was in your service for 8 years and he's a dying guy and he said I didn't really like him. And it's like who the fuck cares?
Who likes him?
I'm sorry, it doesn't matter. You don't have to like him or not. It's your job.
At least he
All
was
right,
smart
and-
enough not to shoot a guy running away.
That actually bothered me. Him
Yeah.
replacing the bodyguard like that when he was protecting. Yes, he should not have fired his weapon the way he did, but the way that he did it wasn't very well done. And then he turned it around towards the end of the episode, but I think he should have gone directly to him and pointed out the problems that he did before he just kind of said, no, get rid of him, you deal with it type thing. I thought that was cowardly.
And with that, stay tuned for the next week's episode, which is episode 7.
Chapter 7.
Chapter episode. At this point, same damn thing. And just to let you know, we do have a Facebook page. Help us. Do you like us? Hate us? Do you think we suck? We'll read you on air.
Apparently, they don't like anything. I mean,
Matter of fact, pause for the cause
even
and help
watching?
us keep the lights on. Hello? Is anybody
they were
out
just
there?
doing this for ourselves.
Hello?
Pretty much at this
Hello?
point.
Hello?
Hello? And no, I'm sad. We're gonna switch things up to try a new. What was that?
Nothing
Said that was easy to make you sad.
Switch things up. Try a new segment that Ryan Preston, the guy who's actually not here, suggested. And so what we're going to talk about is things that we've seen throughout the week that we thought was interesting, and I'll start.
Okay.
I've been.
I didn't find a damn thing interesting, so you better have a couple things.
Well, I've actually been watching. It's a BBC show program. I think it's in 2010. It's called Wartime Farm. It's about these three. It's about these three people, and they go on a farm in England, and for a whole year they live like it would be World War II.
So this is like a reality show.
Yeah, it's a British reality show, but it's more like a documentary. Like it talks about. One of the things that was interesting, the ration system. It talks about the British government taking over farming and what would happen if you didn't live up to their quotas.
They shot you.
Then all that actually happened apparently.
They
So it
were
was-
they were inscripted.
yeah,
Yeah, I must have seen this, or I know so because it rings a bell. I know the whole thing that you're talking
and
about.
it's interesting.
I
And
didn't remember it, so it couldn't be that good.
he's not that old, ladies and gentlemen, or is he not British? So it was interesting, and I've been watching it with Laura for the last week or
Name
something.
dropping.
Yeah,
Name
And-
dropping.
why not? Drop the
And
name.
it's actually one of the more interesting shows I've heard about World War II because this is the first one that I've ever seen that actually really talked about how it affected civilians in England.
Well, you know, if you're going to talk about a TV series, one of the ones that James and I were just talking about, sure, he hasn't been watching it, is Outlander, and it's a new series that's out there, and I like that one.
Yeah, it's a very interesting plot.
Yeah, and what it, just as a quick synopsis of what this is about, she starts out in just after World War II.
1945.
Yeah, and then somehow she magically goes back into time, but it's a very interesting period of time. And
So using the time tunnel, she
I
travels
guess,
back to
yeah.
1743.
Yeah.
She ate a really big burrito and farted.
interesting,
really bad.
interesting intake between the people. The characters are cool. This is Scotland, so it's totally different. You know, we're used to things like Ireland and England, but this is a different take. So I found that interesting as well
Yeah.
too. They're trying to stay somewhat period correct from what I've been reading. Interesting series.
You know, one of the things I was kind of talking to John about is I just finished out Justified, watched it from season 1 all the way to the end. And
Was this the series
Yes,
finale?
the series finale finally happened. And you know, I very rarely, if ever, say this, is I think the ending of Justified did not leave for wanting.
Really?
I
I think
hate that.
they summed it up beautifully.
Wow.
I actually have to say
I
that.
want to leave it hanging. I want a cliffhanger.
You know, I'm not into the cliffhanger thing, and I think they wrapped it up so well and so timely, and they didn't drag it out, which America TV has a really bad habit of beating a dead horse until there's like nothing left.
Got to get every nickel they can out of it.
And they really do seem to do that, and I'm very happy to say that Justified didn't do that. I was upset that it's over, but I think they ended it nicely. The only other season or show that I can say that with is I think The Shield did the same thing.
So unlike The Sopranos or
Sopranos
the
ending was horrible.
talk- or-
Dexter's was horrible.
or Seinfeld, who has a
was-
notoriously bad one.
I mean, how many spin-offs did they pull out of
Yeah,
that one?
and
You
none
know?
of them worked.
Yeah, I
You know,
mean,
it was
none
like
of them-
Friends. You know, same
Yeah.
thing. You know, everybody
Yeah.
had a spin-off. None of them worked.
Yeah.
Everybody? I thought it was just Joey.
No,
Joey
Lisa
and,
Kudrow
yeah.
had one, and
I actually didn't know that. How
yeah.
bad was that one?
And then Schwimmer started trying to do back to stand-up stuff for a while, and I guess that wasn't.
He did a
working
good
really
job
well.
in Band of Brothers, but
He
you
did
know,
do a good
that
job
would
Yes,
be
because it's a
another
character
one-
you hate.
Yeah.
That would
It's
be another
easy.
one I could say they summed it up nicely in, but Band of Brothers was actually based on a real story.
Yeah,
So
so
you-
they didn't have to sum up anything.
Yeah.
And we kind of did know the ending, huh?
So, yeah, we did. So, but the
It's like
only
Titanic.
two that
You're
I
not
can
spoiling
really
it.
Right.
think of shows that I think summed it up nicely was The Shield and this one.
Yeah.
I have to say that's rare because usually at the series
I know.
ending, I'm usually like, "You son of a."
You know,
Well, I think you guys, if people out there, since you're talking about the shows that you're talking about, I think you will like Outlander, so you might
Yeah.
consider starting to watch those because
Yeah, that one's
there's
gonna
not
be-
a whole lot of really, really
So
well done.
well, I think
for-
you should take a look at Turn.
I'm going to do that.
That one I stayed away from for quite a long time.
So for a
Sure.
quick synopsis for Outlander, I actually haven't watched it yet. It's follows the story of Claire Radall, a married combat nurse from 1945 who mysteriously swept back in time to 1743 and shenanigans happen.
Pretty much.
It's a good term for Scottish.
Shenanigans.
Shenanigans. You did okay.
So next week we generally do theater pick, but since, well, we honestly couldn't find a damn movie that we wanted to see, we decided to throw a dice, and whoever got close to the number that landed picked it, and Rob is the first one, so this may or may not be a good pick, so blame him.
Well, you know what? I was frantic for a while because when you guys, okay, you got to come up with a movie. Well, I haven't seen what I consider decent sci-fi in a while. And I hesitate to say this because some people love it, some people hate it. But what I want to do is I want us to all watch Star Trek Into Darkness.
Wait, didn't we do that one
I
already?
think we did.
I know, but we can do it again.
James, are you okay with that?
Because it must have been pre-me. Okay? Okay.
I'm
Okay.
a little torn.
No, if you guys do what you like.
Well,
Okay.
no,
That was my pick. If you don't like my pick, you guys pick one. So.
no. If James is cool with it, I'm fine with it.
No.
Well, I think okay.
Nope. I'm done.
Wow.
You guys pick it.
I can't argue with him. So next week we're going to be doing another Jack Nicholson, One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. So enjoy.
Wait, what?
Yep, I did it.
Well, at least I don't have to watch it.
Why?
I've seen it too many times.
Oh,
All right.
so I guess we're doing. I was kind of looking forward to doing Star Trek Into Darkness. Thanks,
we already did
James.
I think
So
we did.
I
Can
guess
you look at your list?
Yeah. Look,
And when did you do it? Because it
Take
wasn't
the-
with me.
I'm pretty certain we did do it, but I know it was before you.
this is gonna make great TV, by the way.
Well,
it is.
you know-
So while Jonathan's looking through the list of movies that have been reviewed on the show, let's see, what other good TV that's...
You know, I don't see
And
it.
you don't? All right. Well, I'm okay with doing it. I had no issue to do it. It was
One
just-
second.
Get to the way early. Maybe you did this way early on.
Well, it was 2013, so not that way.
You know, the other series on television, if you haven't followed it, it's been on for quite a while, is Criminal Minds.
Yeah.
You know, I
And,
didn't really get into that one.
You guys did do it, okay.
You know, I'm actually cool with doing a flashback episode.
Well, that was only episode 54, so that was a while ago.
That was when I was in theater.
Yeah, this was right.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I'm okay with taking another look at it.
Yeah, no, I'm doing good. So we'll just do this one a little differently. Sorry about the very boring ending, but hey,
That's okay.
We're
So
doing
we are
live-
going to do it into the
yeah,
darkness?
let's
Okay.
do it.
Okay.
All right. Well,
And
let's look at it this way. We can all look at it as fun.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
Yeah,
fun.
that's why we
It's
do
fun.
the show anyway.
You know, One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, as many times as I've seen it, it's a good Jack Nicholson movie, and I think it should be put in our queue somewhere. I think at some point
Well, it's
we
in
should
my
do it.
queue,
Yeah.
that's
Okay,
fine.
so let's keep it in there because it definitely deserves our review.
Our notice, yeah. Anyway.
So next week instead of the theater pick, as obviously
we finally figured it out.
we're gonna
doing
throw.
Star Trek
This is
into
new for us, guys.
We're throwing things up and gonna do a flashback episode to number 54, which is Star Trek Into Darkness, and it's episode 7 of House of Cards or whatever it's called.
Chapter 7. And
whatever.
hopefully this time on Star Trek Into Darkness, Ryan will not be a sad baby monkey.
I doubt
That's true. That's
and
right.
and as
He's got a
always,
habit of not making it.
we'll see you next week.
Goodbye.